Hi everyone, and welcome to your week 4 roundup video. My apologies again for the issues with recording the video last week. I think the good news from looking at the comments on the forum, but also looking at your assignments, is I don't actually think there is a particular urgent need to revisit those figures with you. A reminder that there will be the opportunity to do that if you want to in the live session next week. And of course, as always, you can raise any questions in the meantime with Paul or myself, as some of you have around different aspects. So on to the assignments this week, and as I'm recording this, Tuesday late afternoon, you'll get your feedback tomorrow, Wednesday morning, and I have to say it is the highest scoring assignment I think that we've ever had. Consistently, some really good work there. Obviously, you'll all get your individual feedback, and I think for everyone there are one or two little things that you could all tweak just to to those scores even higher. But very impressed with the standard and the consistency there right across the group, where we usually get a lot of variation on this one actually. Um, but I'm sure it's usually an exciting process, and I wonder if there was any surprises for people, or any bits that caught people off guard when going through that. Um, it's always great to get your feedback on how that was. So this week there was again 2 discussion forums, and the first is an exercise that I really enjoyed writing and always look forward to seeing how people comment on it. We're looking at expansion VC and a choice of 18 companies to invest in. So I think there was some really good analysis there. And what I liked in this group that's set it aside from some of the other groups we've had is there didn't seem to be any hindsight bias jumping in. Let's comment on Facebook and LinkedIn and say how good they were at Airbnb, given that we know the success that they've gone on to have. So of course, Uber and Dropbox did get a mention, and they're two of the kind of the big players in there. But I thought the analysis was very pure. Really looked at the content and said this is what we liked, and indeed this is what we didn't think was as good as it could have been. One thing that I would highlight is that this exercise and the process is all about matching a VC to a business. So a business being very investable and having a very good pitch deck isn't automatically the same as saying that that's a good match. So perhaps above anything else, one of the things that you didn't really quite pick out, I think certainly one person did explicitly comment, here's where my £100,000 would go. But the fact that the amount we were looking at here is £100,000 is a fairly, a boutique investor. Some of those options realistically are not the place to invest, I would say. And I think more than anything, the lesson is that finding the right match at the right time is what's really critical, and understanding what those factors are. And that can just help, because it tends to be a process where there is a fair amount of rejection, but the better the match, the less likely that rejection is. Whereas someone might think this is absolutely fantastic, but it's not for me, and that's like I say, that's a key part of the learning process here. Onto the second forum, and that looks at the Bright Egg pitch deck. And again, I thought there was some really good analysis here. I thought there was one particular, and there was a lot of comments on the structure and on the actual contents of the pitch deck. We usually have more comments on the way it's presented, so the design, the creativity, and that's not something that really has come through, which was interesting. And I do think that plays a part, but clearly you all had enough areas to critique. Paul, as always, has gone through and given some really helpful follow-up kind of thinking. So I won't repeat those here, but they are worth having another look at if you haven't gone back and had a look since Paul posted those, I think yesterday. So please do that, and have an additional think, and maybe another comment or two to keep the conversation going right to the very end of the week. So obviously this was done deliberately, and it was crafted to provide an opportunity to critique it. And I suppose what I would challenge you back with is you all really found lots of areas to critique it, and it's now trying to apply that same process to your own. Is can you be as critical with your own pitch deck, and really get it to that high standard that kind of you're building the comments around there. I think the final thing for me to note is the live session next Wednesday. So this will be recorded for anyone who would like to attend but can't attend. But I really do encourage you, if at all possible, to attend that. And the second part of that is to post any questions. So in the next forum, sorry, the next module opens up tomorrow. There's a place there where we'll ask you to post any questions, and if you can do that, in the next few days, that gives us a real ability to build the session around the areas that you want to talk about most. It's going to be a fairly small group of us, which is great. So it allows it to be personal, and we can discuss it. But the more you're able to let us know what things you'd like to discuss, the more prep Paul and I can do in advance. And of course, we will take live questions. But like I say, you sometimes then get a question where you can only get a half answer, whereas a little bit more prep allows us to really give that focus for you. So please do that, and reach out with anything else that Paul or I can help with. And have a good week, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.